Hey guys, I'm Joardee, and with the release of Ulduar now officially announced for January 19th, I thought it might be a good idea to talk a bit about what your week 1 of Ulduar might look like for the different skill levels of raids out there, and where you should spend your time week 1 to best maximize your loot and keep your raid happy. You don't want to get stuck working on a hard mode that you don't have a ton of chances to get down early on and waste time on the end of the raid that you might be better off using on fights like General Vezax or Yogg. Okay, so the first type of raid we're going to discuss is Raid X. Raid X is the type of raid that has a bunch of dads who only have time to raid once a week, maybe for 4 hours at most, and are doing everything they can to push through the content to see it all. This is the type of raid that likely has a suboptimal comp because you definitely need to bring the 3-rep paladins, the 2 shadow priests, and Jim's friend Dwight, who doesn't have a microphone. Speaking of microphones, most of these guys don't have them, so it's tough to get a lot of communication in this group. Now this group can clear Ulduar week 1, but only the normal modes. You guys should not spend any time on the hard modes. You just won't have enough time to get through the instance. Ulduar is a big place with 14 bosses, and learning all of them is going to take some time. So make sure everyone knows, hey, we're going to try to get through here as fast as we can, but we're not doing any hard modes. One thing that will help these guys, and I only say this with a tiny bit of satisfaction, is watching the boss guides I've made. They're long, yes, but they cover most mechanics, so if people can do their homework and just have a basic understanding of what each fight is, even if they don't remember, once they get there, it'll all come back and you'll be better for it. Another thing I'd stress this raid is to bring plenty of extra consumables for anyone that didn't bring them. You don't want to find out your paladin healer doesn't have mana pots halfway through the instance. Just bring some for him, hand them to him, and make sure that he uses them. Flasks and feasts too, they go a long way, and just having your raid leader or whoever bring a bunch of extra ensures everyone is fully consumed. Finally, with this raid, maybe sit down with your tanks ahead of time and make sure they have as much understanding of the fights as possible. There are some harsh tank mechanics here, and just getting them up to speed can smooth out some of your attempts tremendously. Yes, this might be asking a lot of this raid, but it's week 1, so let's stretch what we're capable of. Alright, that's Raid X. Let's talk about the next one, Raid Y. Raid Y is the raid who fancies themselves gamers. You have a lot of really great players in this raid, people 99 parse occasionally, you guys try to learn all the top tier strats week after week and are pushing pace every week. This is the raid I feel that most of Classic WoW is going to fall into. Raid Y is the type of raid that if you're watching this video, you're probably in. Raid Y, and I know this is a big ask, I would try to figure out if you can raid 2 nights week 1. That would seriously help you clear all of what I'm about to go over. Think about it, see what you can do. Okay, so Raid Y should go for about half of the hard modes week 1. I'd do normal modes through Oriaya, and then work on Thorm hard mode, and then maybe Freya hard mode, and then do normal Mimiron and Hodir. You absolutely won't get Hodir unless you make some raid comp changes week 1, so I'd recommend specifically just doing him on normal. Then you go to normal Vezax, and then you spend some time on Yogg 1 light. Yogg 1 is absolutely doable by this raid week 1. You just need to have enough time to learn him. He's not exactly simple. I put out the guide for him yesterday and it's almost 20 minutes long. I'm really sorry, but it's helpful if you want to tackle him. After week 1, you can start to introduce more hard modes, but for this first week where everything is new and your gear is still super fresh, this is the way to go in my opinion. Now let's say you've been working on Thorim for 6 or 7 pulls and he's just not going down. Just skip hard mode, guys. Do the normal mode, it's not a huge deal. You can't risk missing out on Yogg loot by not getting him down. Especially if you're doing 1 night a week. You just don't have the time to dawdle. Your raid leader needs to make hard decisions on the fly, and your raid needs to understand and go with it. Okay, that's Raid Y. The last raid, Raid Z, doesn't really need this video. You guys know what you're doing already. Hit those hard modes, go for Realm first, get it. You guys are likely not getting Algalon unless you've been on the PTR a lot. I'm not sure my raid's gonna get Algalon in the hour that we have, if I'm totally honest. He's really, really hard. And that's all right. We're gonna do what we can and then hit it again next week. We also aren't doing XT hard mode or general Vezak's hard mode week 1. We think XT might be a bit overtuned as it is, and Vezak looks to be a specific healing comp required, and we don't want to flex to expense the other raids. So we're not going to do it. So yeah. Good luck out there, guys. Raid Z. See you on the leaderboards. Now, hopefully you've got a good sense of where to spend your time and why, and how to best mitigate disaster week 1. This place is hard, but it's absolutely doable to clear it week 1, regardless of your raid skill level, so go in with a plan and execute. If you found this video helpful or informative, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It does really help me a lot, and each single one matters. I've also set up a Patreon. You can see your name here, like these guys who've been so kind to support me already. Thanks, dudes. And at the top tier, we've got monthly Warcraft log reviews, so we can figure out how to improve your gameplay or your raids. Thanks again. All right, that's it for me. See you guys in Ulduar.